Yeah. Talk to me, mate. What do you
got?
got?
Got a bit of a story. Strap yourselves in. So this is last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I'm at work.
Ooh,
minding my own business.
Yes, of course you are.
And I've got the multiple two screens at work, and
one for porn, one for.
So I've just got porn going around the clock. HR's not happy, but
no.
But look, we're working through it, and so you've got your little folders open, and so I've got my Facebook folder open. All of a sudden, ding, bing, got a message. Open it up. This is last Tuesday. Nathan Broad, Richmond Footy Club.
Oh, wow. Wow. Is it another boob shot?
Yeah, it's another boob shot, and he's gone, Tommy,
before
I go public with this, what do you think of this? Do you reckon this is going to get me in the shit? I said,
there's a bit of hair on that nipple.
Nathan, go for it. No. So, and I've actually dealt with...
nice little name drop there, mate.
Well, you had to. The stories without that's
true.
Pointless.
That's true.
So anyway, ripping bloke, lovely guy, good country bloke.
I reckon he looks great. He looks like, he's
cool.
got a few tats, but he doesn't look like wanky tats guy.
And he hasn't gone over the top, and he's
just
pretty,
enough.
He's pretty relaxed.
He's got a little bit of a mullet, bit of a mullet.
But not too much.
Not too much. He's got a little bit of everything.
He's fashionable without overdoing it. He's just a cool cat.
Yeah.
And anyway, so...
He's broad.
So we've had previous conversations. He got me down... I think people have listened to previous episodes. I may have talked about this when I did a gig to the Richmond Footy Club probably about 2 years ago. I reckon it was just pre-COVID. And anyway, he got me in and he said, because they do this, like each one of them once a week has to do a bit of a talk.
Yep.
And they've got 20 minutes. They have to do a presentation. And
Beautiful.
he thought, I tell you what would be funny if I got... It's probably on his behalf a bit of a cop-out, but I'll get a comedian in there to do the talk. So he gave me a heap of dirt on all the players, and it was fucking...
Great dirt.
Great dirt. It wasn't like, he slept with her or he did this.
No,
it was
you
just
can't do
funny
that.
stuff. Like, for example, one of the players left his puffy jacket in the weights room. Someone knocked off his puffy jacket, and he was just obsessed with trying to find this puffy jacket.
Yeah.
Stuff that you can... And I was able to really
work that's just gold there, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and I was able to work that in. Everyone was in stitches. They had a bit about Dusty. Just had stuff about everyone.
Great.
And I walked in and no one knew I was coming in. And and he said, we've got a pretty... Nathan Broad was up in front of everyone. I was in there.
So what's your vibe? For people who aren't out there and you get sometimes those footy, let's call them nuffies or whatever, like we'll see the players and just go to water. Like, I need a photo. What do you like, mate? What do you like before a gig? You've been nervous?
Deep down, I'm going, I can't believe this is happening, but I'm acting cool as cat shit.
Acting
cool. Like I do it every other day. So Nathan Broad's met me in the foyer. I've gone in and he said, all right, we're on in about 15. And so he's decked me out in full Richmond gear, which I asked for.
Great.
And I had all this dirt. I'd had a month to organise it. And anyway, so Nathan Broad's got up in front of the group, probably 60 people. You had Dimar Lepic, all the assistants. And he said, got a bit of announcement. And he's brought me in. And I've come storming in my Richmond gear.
Brilliant.
Helmet, mouth guard.
Banner?
And no banner.
Okay.
But I've announced that Dimmer's been sacked. And I'm taking over as coach, and this is the team I'm running out with this week. And I've gone through the team, every
Did
line.
Did they buy it? That Dimmer had been sacked?
No, he was sitting there laughing. So it was a bit of they put 2 and 2 together.
Okay,
and he just won a couple of flags.
Couple of flags, yeah.
So they put 2 and 2 together. So was
that Broady again, mate?
That was Broady.
Broady, just going, mate. You got to tell that story on the podcast.
So
pump me up.
So anyway, so I've come out. Couldn't have gone better, and everyone's loved it. How good's that? Everyone shook my hand. Fantastic. So I've sort of got this great memory in my head, great experience, something I always remember. I got a photo with the whole team.
Brilliant.
They gave me a couple of footy jumpers, signed footy jumpers. One I've kept forever. The other one I flogged off for $700 because it ended up being a premiership jumper.
Right. Did you take the cash or did you donate it back?
To...
I don't know, maybe a worthy cause?
No, I took it to a footy club and said to the footy club, I said, it was a fair bit of money in the room, and I said, this could be the time. And it was grand final eve when they were playing GWS. And, and I said, I reckon this could be the time to sell it. It's never going to be worth more than this, except maybe in 2 days' time. But I said, I said to the president, can I auction this off? And you keep half, I keep half.
Oh, great.
Jackpot. They were
well
happy.
done.
They made $700 for nothing.
Great.
So
due.
Yeah, happy days. And I got 2 jumpers, so I've still got a jumper. Anyway, couple of years down the track, I'm sitting at work. Here we are. Get a message, Nathan Broad. G'day, Tommy. Sorry about the short notice.
Can we
Do you
get
reckon
that
you can
fucking
do it?
700 back?
Can we get those
jumper?
2 jumpers back? They're worth a fucking fortune.
Yeah. The CEO is fucking gutted. He's not happy.
He said, sorry about the short notice. Do you reckon we can get you in at 12 o'clock tomorrow?
Ooh.
And I did a good month's preparation for this last gig.
Yeah. But you're a pro.
I'm a pro, but I said, mate, love to, but I'm not going to be able to personalise it like I did last time. How about I just come and do the show that I normally do for local footy clubs? So I'll be wearing my Caulfield gear. I'll be doing jokes about, I'll be doing my nickname jokes, but it won't be about Dusty. It won't be about anyone like that. It's just
about some shit kicker out in.
And he said, mate, fantastic.
Division 5.
The boys will love it. It'll be great. And I said, are we going to be in that same room? And he said, no. He said, because of COVID, we're not going to be able to be in that room.
Oh, boy.
We've got to be outside.
Oh, no.
And I said, out in the Oval. And he said, no. What we're going to do, we're going to go
Punt
for a
Road.
walk. We're going to go for a walk.
At the station?
No, not at the station. We're going to go for a walk, between Punt Road and the G. We're going to go for a walk in that little park area, all the trees.
Oh, yeah. A lot of addicts down there.
You'll,
heroin addicts.
Yeah, and you'll just
Homeless
sort of pop
people.
out from behind a tree.
With your pants on or off?
And do your show. No, without pants on.
Without pants on, just
and
pulling
I said,
yourself.
I don't like where this is going.
I don't like
Nathan.
this.
But no, and I said, oh, fuck. Oh, it sounds tough. But I said, mate, I guess because of COVID, unprecedented times.
Got to do it.
Let's do it. Anyway, so I've got there, and I know this sketch like the back of my hand. I've done it a million times, so I'm not even nervous. The first one, I was shit myself, parading around, going through all the dirt that I'd. But I knew this is just another gig.
There's another walk in the park, if you pardon the pun.
Literally a walk in the park. You're correct.
Yeah.
So
was Dusty's car still there?
I saw Dusty turn up. He was getting driven by
Mick Gatto?
No, it was quite the car. Who's the God, who's the I've had a mind blank. The red-headed defender.
Ah, fuck. Asprey?
He got knocked out in the granny.
Oh, fuck. For Richmond?
For Richmond.
Which last year?
Yeah, did Danger knock him out?
Ah, fuck, I've got no idea. I was so blind that grand final. I don't remember.
Anyway, Danger, very lucky to get off that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I've turned up, and I'm always nice and early. So I'm like, how good's this?
Townsend.
No, that's a bit. So I'm just walking around, going through everything in my head. I'm thought, all right, how good's this? How good's this? I'm relaxed, I'm calm, and all of a sudden I got a phone call from Nathan Broad was with the team.
Yep.
So he's put me on to this guy, Clanger. He's the boxing coach.
Oh, shit.
So the boxing coach is going to let me in the change rooms, and then I'm going to walk through the change rooms, through the boxing gym, and walk out and meet everyone in Punt Road. So I'm like, fucking great. I'm no longer in the park. I'm in Punt Road. I'm out on the Punt Road Oval.
Oh, mate.
This is better. Anyway, so the phone's rang. Gone through the weights room. Me and Clanger sitting there.
Yeah. Well, did he have a boxer's head?
Oh mate, he actually had a bit of a he'd copped
shiner.
One. He had a bit of a shiner, but he looked as tough as old boots. Yeah, and I'll tell you a bit more about Clanger later on. Very interesting guy, and
Love it.
And a bit of Clanger gave me a bit of goss. And
Matty Goss.
Any goss. So anyway, so I'm in there getting changed with Clanger. I said, how long we got? And he said, we got 15 minutes. And he goes,
take your
great,
time.
because we've got a bit of, and Clanger said, we've got a bit of a
balls.
story line we're going to go with. And I said, I don't know about this. Because I said, I've got a bit of a routine. He goes, mate, this will be a crack up.
Clanger.
Anyway, so I'm putting my gear on. I got my music there ready to go.
Great.
Right? And so what I do is I play Eye of the Tiger through my little, I've got a little portable boombox, which is connected by Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah.
So in my mind, I've got 15 minutes to get ready. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there in Clanger's office, get a phone call. You just hear Clanger go.
How many calls are you getting?
No, Clanger gets a call.
Oh, Clanger gets a call.
And Clanger, you just see his face drop, and Clanger goes,
oh, fuck.
What? What do you mean? Bit of fucking warning would have been nice. And he just put his phone down. He goes, Tommy, we're on in 1 minute.
Oh!
all of a sudden, I felt
Heart drops.
I was going to duck off and do a piss,
Yeah,
maybe a shit.
Couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. And I'm like, oh, fuck me, this is no good. And then Clanger has stood up, and I'm still getting dressed.
Yep.
And I haven't worked out the music yet. Sometimes it takes a while to sync your Bluetooth.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, this is fucked. And so they just walked out onto Punt Road, onto the Oval, and they were walking from the grandstand side to the other side, and then just needed to turn around, and I was going to be standing there, and they turned. So
it's all about timing.
From the time it took to walk one side to the other, I had to completely get ready. And then Clanger stood up and goes, all right, here's the storyline. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
This is like...
And I'm putting my socks on.
That show where you walk through the door. What is it? Thank
God
You're Here.
Thank God You're Here.
It's like, Tommy, here's the storyline. This is what you got to do.
What a great analogy. It was like...
Great analogy. Fuck, I'm good.
It was, that's exactly what it was like. And he goes, all right. And I didn't know he was even involved in
Was Shane Bourne there?
Shane Bourne wasn't there.
He wasn't hosting. He was just Clanger.
It would have been too much for Shane Bourne. He was thought, fuck this. We shouldn't be putting people in this position. So Clanger stood up and he's grabbed his pads and he goes, all right. So what's going to happen is you're just going to be laying into me. And there's this thing called the Clanger move. So you get me in a headlock and rest your head like into my
body.
Bosom and just start laying into me, and that's the Clanger move. And he said, you just lay in as many times as you want. So Clanger's put on this suit and like a headgear and fucking mitts, and he's given me gloves.
Sounds like a pretty... When you said storyline, I thought it was going to be pretty involved. It doesn't sound like it's fucking...
No, it's not a huge storyline, but it's one that I wasn't expecting.
I don't know if you can write a novel out of that shit.
But it's also, like, I've also got in my head, how am I going to work into me fighting Clanger?
That's true.
Into my normal fucking routine.
Thank God you're here.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, shit. And he goes, well, let's go. We got to go. And I'm bloody doing my shoelaces.
And you can't throw a punch to save your life.
No, not to throw, which has sort of worked out. Probably got more laughs than anything else. And anyway,
hurt your wrist.
So we've gone out, and I'm about to shit my pants, absolutely packing it all of a sudden, and I was cool as ice. And anyway, so they're now halfway across the Oval. So they're walking towards us, and this is fairly daunting. Probably 60 people. You got Dusty, you got Koch, you got
all the big names. You got Brody,
absolutely everyone,
Malay.
walking towards me, and I'm here on the Oval. Just going, fuck what I do. And I'm trying to get the music going. And anyway,
no reception.
So I've turned it on. Is the noise my speaker makes. I've the Tiger, because we couldn't find my fucking phone. Because we absolutely shit ourselves. We only had a minute. And I'm like, where's my phone? And Clanger's like, mate, we just took my phone up. I've got Eye of the Tiger ready to go. So I can't find my phone.
Clang Daddy.
Anyway, all right, you guys, let's put the music on. And Clanger's gone to put his music on. Eye of the Tiger's what we want. You know what we got?
Eye of the Tiger.
No, my fucking... It didn't give a shit about Clanger's phone.
It got yours.
It got mine, which was somewhere lost in the change rooms. A Joe Rogan podcast started blaring
Was
out.
it Mike Tyson?
No,
that would have been good.
Would have been a coincidence, but still would have been good. Anyway, so this... In front of all these players, the fucking... Rogan started blasting. This podcast I was listening to. And Clanger's gone, what the fuck's that? And I said, mate,
it's not
let's scrap the fucking music. And so I've turned the speaker off.
Very good.
And then he said, mate, it's now or never, let's go.
You don't get that on Thank
God
God
just
You're
given... a kick wasn't part of the plan, but I've just given him a big fucking straight kick right in the guts because I've thought we've got to do something funny here.
Yeah.
And so I've just started trying to knock his head off.
Was he going, hit me?
Oh, yeah, mate. He was really good. He was ducking and weaving
great.
and jabbing
Zigging
me.
And zagging.
And the Richmond boys were cracking up. I can't fight for shit. It would have been a funny sight.
It would have been Clanger.
And then, and I was so nervous. And I know that, there are a few girls there, but I didn't know there were girls there at the
That's
time.
always nerve-wracking.
And so what I've done, and all of a sudden, Clanger's he played it well. He sort of acted like I'd beaten him, and he balled up, and I was just banging into him, and then he just dropped his shit and just ran, and I didn't know what to do, and just in the burst of adrenaline, I yelled out, "Fuck off, Clanger, you dumb cunt." Which was because I didn't know what to do. I thought I need something big. I need something big.
Yeah, you can't go.
And I'd already said fuck about 15 times while I was like, fuck you, and I was like, fuck off, Clangy, you dumb cunt. And the boys were in stitches.
And then you went into the suburban footballer from that.
Eyes up, and I had to go straight into the. So it was, it was crazy.
Well played.
But they all sort of leant on the fence, and it was
stretching.
It was I got big laughs. I cut it short because I was thinking, like, I was
this is going too well.
Oh, mate, there was one, because I was going through it was all going really well, but then I did one nickname that sort of really fell flat.
Yeah.
So I thought, fuck it, I'm doing 2 nicknames I know are going to work. So I did it. And then I said, it was a less is more sort of vibe. So I probably did 15 minutes.
Well, you had you had done 3 rounds in the ring.
Did 3 rounds
before you got out there.
Oh, mate, it was talk about going from absolute calm, zen. This is just how you want to be before a gig. All of a sudden, Clanger's phone rings to absolute 15 minutes of fucking terrifying hysteria. Just like that.
But you do. And don't you seem to find, though, with sometimes with those gigs, how do they fuck it up that bad? How do they go, you've got 15 minutes to, we're on in 1?
Well, I do know.
Okay.
There was a lady there who was I guess that
publicity.
They're counsellor. She does the mind and all stuff. And she was meant to talk, and she just pulled out at the last minute.
Oh, what a pussy!
I've got to. I haven't sent him an
invoice.
Go
see a psychologist.
I've got to. Mind you, I've got to see a psychologist after that. Yeah, you're right. No, so anyway,
so she just pulled out. So their psychologist, who's meant to be strong in the mind, has said, "Fuck this."
Ironically, just fucked.
Ironically, said, "Fuck it, let's see how strong this bloke is."
And she threw me under the bus. But there might have been something. Look, I don't know the reason. She had something else on. She was there and she was laughing and Dimmer was laughing. And Dimmer came up afterwards and said, "Oh, mate, that's great." He said, "Did you really play for the Caulfield Bears?" Because his son, I think, plays for Ormond or someone, not far away. So
not far away at all.
Anyway, so everyone, it just ended so quick.
I love this.
After a gig, you might hang around, chat with people.
Have a few beers, but they're not doing that.
No, so everyone just basically did a Yui and walked off. And Dimmer came up and
walked
said,
back to the other side of the ground?
Sort of walked off towards the...
Are they already trained?
They must have already trained.
Okay.
So they walked off, I think, to the change rooms, and I was walking back into the gym. And Big Lynchy,
Tommy? The old linchpin.
Who, it's funny, I've never known how to take him. I've always thought he's...
Usually from behind.
Oh,
he's a big boy.
He's a big... he's a big boy. But he was... Because I've always thought he's potentially... Is he potentially a psychopath? Like, he looks like a private schoolboy, but then every now and again he just loses his shit. And he can just stand there with no emotion on his face. But he was one of the guys that was doing rehab, so he didn't go off with the rest of the group. He came over and said, "Oh, mate, really enjoyed it." And I was like, "Oh, thanks very much." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, it was pretty short notice." And yes, had a really lovely chat with him. So he's won me over. I'm a big Tommy Lynch fan now.
Did you get his number on your jumper?
No. Knocked a bit of shit off from his locker though.
Boots, great.
So that was good. Big Mancurbis, he was in rehab as well. He was lovely. He came over.
Big boys in rehab.
Yeah, a lot of big. They've got a few out at the moment. They could come good. But anyway, so afterwards, it was like fuck. Me and Clanger sat in his office, and we were just like shaking our heads, going, "Mate, that really fucking turned on a dime. That did." And it was almost like we needed to debrief. And,
Just
But anyway, so sorry,
relax. No, I was just saying, just gather your thoughts and just go, wow, we did it.
It was like we'd been through something together. Yeah, it was like we had a real connection. And I said, "So is this all you do?" And mate, he was really, really happy to chat. And he goes, "Oh, mate, the lockdown was for me. It was one of the best things that happened to me because he was just the boxing coach.
Okay.
But then when they had the bubble, they obviously had to cut a lot of jobs and stuff. And he said it was unfortunate, but he said, because I'm one of those guys, I'll just do fucking anything.
Well, he could become the psychologist now, considering that chick fucking pulled out.
He goes, mate, I used to just do the boxing. Now I'm rolling footies out. And
that's the big job. That is the big job of the footy club.
And I said, all right, if there was a tournament, who would be the best boxer,
ball roller?
Best boxer at Richmond.
Oh, yeah. I like this guy.
Good question.
Oh, great question, Tom.
I said, who would be the best boxer at Richmond? And he said, one guess.
Well.
Give you a guess.
Well, okay. Dusty.
Dusty. He said, mate, Dusty is unbelievable. And he said, and what he does is, he said he rang him.
Does he do the clanger move?
I assume he does the clanger move. But he said he actually texted him New Year's Day and said, mate, can we have a blowout? And he said he just does heaps of extra stuff. And I said, do they sort of monitor what you do so you're not doing too much? And he said they do with some, but Dusty does what Dusty does.
Dusty does.
Do what you do. And I said, who else? And he said, he said, what's his name? Little Indigenous guy that ran through Viney.
Sydney Stack.
Sydney Stack. He said, mate, if he trained 6 months, he could go pro. He said he can
quick.
Really, just quick.
Quick.
He said quick.
I think a lot of those Indigenous guys are quick.
Yeah,
they're quick with their feet, quick with their hands, mate.
Bloody oath.
And wouldn't even see it coming. Bang, lights out.
And he said he was actually and he was this clanger. He was saying he's also a UFC referee, and I said, have you ever done any big UFC fights? He goes, I've done Vegas, and he said,
I thought he would have liked fucking Joe Rogan popping up on the bloody
he had no
podcast.
issue with Joe Rogan. It was more the fucking timing of Joe Rogan.
It was great.
Put on a show.
That's right.
Nothing. Yeah, and he knew straight away. He goes, is that fucking Joe Rogan?
Fucking Rogan.
And,
I love this episode.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was crazy times. One of those things where you leave and you get in your car and you're like, what the fuck just happened? That was crazy. And then I was still working, so I drove out, and an hour later I was bloody
back in the Sandalford
building a display at
office
at Bunnings, Tarneet, the new store in Tarneet.
Jesus, so you're going from Richmond with all the fucking Tarneet.
Just a roller coaster of a battling comedian.
Good banter.